morning, and thank you for joining me this Monday morning. Happy Monday, and I hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day weekend. If you happen to have the opportunity to celebrate that, of course. Let us begin now, as we always do, by placing our awareness in the area of the heart. And let us just relax, take slow, deep, gentle breaths. And just imagine these breaths are flowing in and out of your heart, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than you normally would. And just allow these breaths to just flow into your heart, sending a signal to your body and your autonomic nervous system that all is well. And allow it to start the rejuvenation, the anti-aging, and the calmness that we need to begin this week. Slow, deep, gentle breaths, experiencing them flowing in and out of our hearts. Imagine them flowing into your heart and then exhaling, flowing out of your heart. If it feels right, deepen your breaths. Imagine them flowing into your heart, down to your lower abdomen, and right to your root chakra or your perineum. And then as you exhale, exhale from your root chakra through your lower abdomen and out through your heart. See if you can make these breaths deeper. Now, if you had your eyes closed, please do open them. I want to share with you today's topic. It's the gift of our inner child. This is an interesting topic, and I seem to come across this a lot, actually, in terms of when I work with people. And it's an interesting topic from a perspective of, we are told in our lives that you're now an adult, act like an adult, don't act like a child. And sometimes, when we actually play with children, we tend to become children. Like some of us may speak like in a childlike voice, and some of us may just play with them or engage them at their level. And that is, and you see the wonderment of from a child's perspective when they see somebody playing with them as a child, although they know you're an adult. The interesting part about this is when you become that child, you are actually nurturing that part of you that needs nurturing, that part of you that needs holding, that part of you that's becoming vulnerable. Because a child, there's nothing more vulnerable than a child that's just sitting there waiting to be fed by you, waiting to be picked up by you, waiting to be, secured by you. So when you become a child yourself, you are actually expressing vulnerability. That expression of vulnerability makes you endearing to others, and that is like when you become childlike, and you express vulnerability as a child. What happens is you make deeper connections with others. You have to, of course, be mature in your approach to others when you do that in the place of work or when you're engaging with other adults, of course. But the idea of a childlike persona is something that will always be something that you and I need in our adulthood. And we cannot just say, don't be a child anymore. Don't act like a child anymore. Being playful, having that imagination of, closing your eyes and just, doing something favorite that you would not normally do in mixed company, for example, is something that is very important, because when you do that, you activate the creative centers in your body, you activate the joy in your body, and in that childlike joy is where the magic happens with your creativity. So I invite you now to go into that imagination and imagine like you're doing something that you would love to do as a child. Perhaps you never ever experienced as a child, but you've always wanted to do. You were denied that particular thing. It's very safe for you to gobble down mounds of chocolate or candies in your imagination. Your body will respond like it's joyful because that's what you imagine it to be. In reality, maybe that may not be very good for your body, but in your imagination, you can experience joy while doing something that's that. Imagine going to running through meadows, or perhaps just jumping into a river with your clothes on, things like that. In your imagination is very important, even though you are restricted in the way you can do that in this particular physicality of our lives. In your imagination, everything's open. So I invite you to begin to think about things that would give you so much joy and so much playfulness that you can do it in your imagination first, and then you may get an opportunity actually to do it in real life. And that is something that I would invite you to try. And when we do the next practice, we will actually go through a playful experience in our imagination. So we want to kickstart this week with a childlike persona of expressing vulnerability, but there's strength in that vulnerability. There is this courage in vulnerability. You can never, ever say that you're not courageous when you're vulnerable, because becoming vulnerable is actually expressing courage, because you are opening yourself up for anything that could come your way. And you're courageous enough to trust yourself to be able to handle that. And that is the important aspect of being vulnerable, is to become more courageous. And that is really the courage within will build. So let us now become more vulnerable. Let us begin to run through the meadows. And we will start now placing our awareness in the area of the heart. And let us now take slow, deep, gentle breaths and just experience these breaths flowing in and out of our hearts, breathing a little slower, a little gentler than we normally would. And with your eyes closed, imagine the child within you, that little child within you that wants to come out and play. Take his or her hand and imagine doing what that child wants. Listen to that child. Ask the child, what is it that you want to do today? And open up your imagination to all possibilities, all worlds, all situations that the child would like to go play in. Now go play with that child as you take these slow, deep, gentle breaths, experiencing them flowing in and out of your heart. And go play with that child while you're breathing in this way. Is your heart full playing with that little child? Are you experiencing joy, gratitude, and appreciation for being in the presence of this vulnerable child? Are you making yourself vulnerable with the child? Experience this. And if you haven't already communicated with the inner child, have a conversation. It is now that you ask your inner child, how often should we come out and play? When's the next time we can do this? Let's make a date. Let's do this often. Have a conversation. If you had your eyes closed, please do open them. Wanted to thank you for joining me this morning. That's 15 minutes has gone by very quickly. Appreciate your participation. And while your comments are coming in, if you have any questions, by all means, type them in. I just wanted to let you know that at 11 o'clock today, we're doing part 3 of Freeing Yourself from Limiting Beliefs. This is where we actually take those replacement beliefs that replace the limiting beliefs, replacement beliefs, and then we turn them into a reality through imagining it and making it part of you so that you begin to live that reality. So this is where you reprogram your limiting beliefs with more ones that serve you, and then you activate that within your DNA system. So I wanted to kind of take that through at 11 o'clock today. And if I can be of any service to help you one-on-one, happy to do that. All right. So please type your questions or comments in. Happy to address those. I see. Hi, good morning, Dawn. Happy Mother's Day to you. Hope all went well with your kids. Thank you so much for joining me. I see no comments coming through. So that means that we can just say thank you so much for joining me this morning. Oh, you're welcome, Dawn. Dawn says the practice, or Michelle says the practice was terrific, Shamir. Today I did this with visualization with my eyes open. It was a lot of fun, and I found I carried a smile on my face. Beautiful. That's the key. It's that inner child of yours that you connect with, and you did it with your eyes open, which means you don't have to really concentrate on connecting with that inner child, which is such a wonderful thing to have as an experience. So if you can do that, that's beautiful. You can do that on the go, just like as easy as it is for all of us to breathe. This could be part of your practice, is to walk around with that inner child just bubbly and pumping all the time. So you're not storing that inner child away and then bringing the inner child up when you think it's time, but you're always doing that. I think that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, Michelle. Yeah, you're welcome, Dawn. I think it's a useful tool to use in your inner child to speak to. Yes, absolutely. You're welcome. You're most welcome. All right. Thank you so much for those wonderful comments. Truly appreciate that. All right. We'll talk to you. We'll pick another topic next week. You take care for now. Bye-bye.